Hello and welcome to PlayByPlaySpottingBoards.com. I'm Brian Schultz. Not only did I write this software, I use it every single week as a play-by-play announcer for the Bemidji State University football team, men's hockey team, and baseball team. I hope that you'll find this video both informative and also find it amazing that you can have a spotting board, complete with stats, done in about 15 minutes. Once you're ready to start, log on to PlayByPlaySpottingBoards.com, enter your email address and a password, and click Submit. If you ever forget your password or lose it, just click on Lost Password. Once you log in, you'll see links to change your password, view text instructions, link for a drive and play chart, useful during a play-by-play broadcast, links for your numbers and their numbers, we'll get to those in a moment, plus links to add a new team, roster maintenance, delete all player notes, add a new player, and the Stat Crew importer. Note that while this says experimental only, this is a great way to import stats from Stat Crew, which is used by every college in the country, as well as Max Preps or any other website that has rosters and stats on it. Once you scroll down, you'll see links to print out your spotting boards for your offense and defense, their offense and their defense. Since I like to copy and paste, we'll use the importer. Here you'll see a radio button for your roster, your rushing, your passing, your receiving, and your defensive. Note that if you're using the same team all the time, it's your. The opponent is there. If you do a game of the week with new teams each week, doesn't matter which one you use, as long as you match up the roster and stats as your or their. If you're using the same team each and every week, you'll only import the roster once. You'll enter or update the rushing, passing, receiving, and defensive stats each week. Since it's a new season, I choose enter a new roster. Since I'm the announcer for Bemidji State University, I log on to their website, and I select all the information for all of the players. Please note that I did not select the headings. On your keyboard, Control-C will copy. And then on our site, Control-V will paste. Notice the dashed areas around each table column. These are necessary, as our system uses tables. Very, very few websites do not put the rosters and stats into table format. If you ever come across one that does, just send us a link. We'll turn it into a table for you. Note that Bemidji State, on their website, puts a link for a pronunciation. Since we don't want that icon to show up on our spotting board, I'll delete it. Very simple step to allow me to copy and paste and not have to write the whole thing myself. Once you're done doing that, note that there are two number 4s. Bemidji State uses an A for the second number 4. Most high schools, you'll never have to worry about this. Most colleges, you will. Doesn't matter what format you use. You can use an asterisk, or you could use a period, or any other symbol. Anything you want to differentiate between the two number 4s. Now you need to tell us what is in each table column. Doesn't matter what format yours is in, as you'll tell our system in the following drop boxes. Column number 1, jersey number. Number 2, name. Number 3, position, followed by height, weight, year, and hometown. Bemidji State also puts their previous school on that same column. Column number 1, number. Column number 2, name. Position, height, weight, year, city, comma, state. Some schools will put the city and the state in separate table columns. If that's the case, you would use city and state. Since there are no more columns, scroll to the bottom and hit submit. If at any time you click on the center with the football, you'll come back to your main page. Now if I click on roster maintenance, I see all of my players entered. Number 4, Avery Walker. Let's say I want to put a pronunciation for Avery. Plus maybe a note. Plus maybe a note or a nugget that I'll use in the broadcast. That's where that goes. Scroll to the bottom and hit submit. Now it's time to import some stats. Since the current season hasn't yet started, I'll enter last year's final stats for week 1. Select all the information for all of the players. Control C. Back to our website. Control V. For stats, it's much easier to go to the school's website to determine what each of those columns is. You'll notice it's name, games played, attempts, yards gained, and so on. Once I have all the information correct, go down to the bottom and hit submit. If I go back to roster maintenance and look for Avery Walker, I now see his stats show up here. If you ever need to manually fix any stats for any one player, this is the way to do it. Let's say he actually had 50 attempts last season. Scroll to the bottom, once again hit submit. Now it's time to tell us who's going to play this week. Click on the link for your numbers. You see a spot for your team name, what color the font is for the jersey numbers, what color you would like the font for the position headings, a font size, font colors for stats, and notes. There are 16 different positions on our spotting boards, although most games are played with 11 players. This allows you plenty of flexibility to put any type of formation in our system. Even if you run a standard formation, it still gives you plenty of spots for extra tight ends or extra running backs or extra whatever. If you're doing a high school 7-man or a 9-man game, there are no tackles. Delete the headings, and in the spots, put the number 100. The reason for that, listed right here. Some teams will put rosters online with all of their red shirts listed without a jersey number. If, for instance, we were to do that, every red shirt without a jersey number would show up in this spot on our spotting board. We don't want that, so we'll put the number 100, which is an illegal number in all football. Here you will see all players that have rushing statistics. Maybe you only get a starting lineup instead of a 2-deep. Well, you'll see if you have stats who has played. This very easy to cross-reference. For instance, number 4 is a running back and should be listed. Same thing with receiving. Your special teams players go here. Your team schedule goes here. You can put as much or as little information here as you would like. Same with the coaching staff. Want to leave it blank? Go right ahead. Now it's time for your defense. Once again, 14 positions for 11 spots on the field. Plenty of opportunity and space for you to put all of your extra defensive backs for nickel and dime coverage. Once all your players are done, click on Submit. Once you're done, this is what your board looks like. Left-hand margin, all of the players on your team. This is good for quick reference during a broadcast. All your linemen and all of your other players, your schedule, and your coaching staff. Same thing with defense. Again, we hope you find our system very informative and very easy to use. And in about 15 minutes, your board is done. Thanks for your time, and have a great season.